I have worked towards this moment. It is my work that brought me to this time. It was not just given to me. It was work. I was in the first class of women at Rutgers University, and I'm an immigrant's child. You know, my mother, the daughter of the soil of Jamaica, and my mother said, be a doctor, be a lawyer, and if you can't do that, then marry one. Well, I wasn't marrying anybody too quick because I had things to do in my mind. But I tried being a doctor, and when they delivered that huge hair on a silver tray and a scalpel, I said, I am not dissecting the Easter Bunny. Not happening, no. So I went and I tried law. I could not take that constitutional law class, couldn't do it. And I got on a dead-end street, and on the end of a dead-end street on the campus is a little theater, and it had a sign that said auditions. And I had a song from the Miss Black Teenage America pageant. I had a monologue, and I went through those doors. I sang my song, I did my monologue, and Dr. James Bettenbender was sitting in the back, and who are you? And I said, I'm Sheryl Lee Ralph, because I'm standing in a theater, I'm trying to give myself a name. And I said, Sheryl Lee Ralph. He says, well, Sheryl Lee Ralph, try and read this. And I read it, and I didn't realize I was upsetting the order of things because I'm a freshman, and freshmen do not get the leads in the plays. And I got the lead.
Miss Thomas, it is my honor to present you with this. The key to the block.
This was my very first film, and I'll never forget the way it all came together, because it was like something out of a movie. First of all, I literally got off the plane, stepped outside of LAX, and there used to be phone booths outside at LAX, and I called my dad, and I said, Daddy, do we have any family in Los Angeles? And he was like, why? Get back on the plane. And I remember saying to my father, Daddy, I think there's something out here for me. As fate would have it, he had just hung up the phone with his long-lost cousin, Maybelle. He called her up. She opened her home to me, and I had a bedroom that is probably the size of my bathroom now. But I was happy because my acting teacher was trying, from the Negro Ensemble Company, had been trying to find me. When I called him, he said, if you can get to Warner Brothers Studios tomorrow, something's gonna happen for you. Maybelle had a car, but it wouldn't start. I'm like 19. That time, you're too young to rent a car. I think you're still too young to rent a car. Rented this car, she drove it. I didn't realize Maybelle hadn't driven in about 10 years, hence the car didn't work. She got behind that wheel, and what was supposed to take us, well, I take the trip now every day. It takes me 12 minutes early in the morning, 25 minutes late in the afternoon. Took us an hour to get to Warner Brothers. It was okay. She chain smoked all the way. Oh, and she was drenched in sweat, because I told her she was going to meet Mr. Poitier. When we arrived and got there through those gates, she said, no, you go get yours. You go get yours. And she stood there just trying to get herself together. And I walked in there and I met Sidney Poitier. And things were different after that, but I remember Mr. Poitier looking at me and he said, I'm so sorry, the industry doesn't have anything more to offer you because you deserve it. And he gave me this little black box full of, you know, the makeup and hair products that I would need, because we were very well taken care of on the set. And he said, you better learn how to take care of yourself, because there are not too many people out there that can do it. And that's part of how I started learning all the things I needed to do for myself in an industry at the time that didn't know what to do with me. He said, Sheryl Lee Ralph, I expect great things from you. Dreamgirls was absolutely a dream come true because Dr. Bettenbender wanted me to stay at Rutgers to be in the first class of the Mason Gross School of the Arts for the master's program. And I had to apologize. I said, Dr. Bettenbender, I'm going to Broadway. And you know, when you're in college and you say things like that, people look at you sort of like, okay, well, okay. And I was like, no, I'm going to Broadway. Well, 5 years later, I was there. 5 years later, it was a long process getting there. It was no after no. Joseph Papp didn't get it. You look at the people who didn't believe in the project, and you're like, we're gonna make theater history. And it was like, oh my God, maybe we're not. Yes, we are. And we did. Drop your vices and take a hit of my drug of choice, J-E-S-U-S, street name Christ. I'm in a fabulous hit show. Oh my goodness gracious. I am in a show that is literally lightning in a bottle, you know? So I get to win the award, go do this show, and have a wonderful time. And it took a young person to see and value the work, Quinta Brunson, and offer me this way forward. That doesn't happen a lot, but it happened to me. So I reap the benefits of that. And so it's been good. I speak to people across this country, especially teachers. You know, when they run numbers on who your audience is, they came back and said, it's very interesting. Your audience spreads generations. And I was like, yeah, that's right. The young ones like me, the old ones like me too, and everybody in between. And they were like, people like you. And I was like, thank you. Yes. When I look at my children now, I am very proud. I look at them and I'm like, I did that. I knew that in order to make this journey, I had to have support. I was not going to be able to do it all by myself. And I was able to seek out the support, and God gave me the support. I had an outstanding mother, so my mother was there to help me to the best of her ability. I also had great home care. We had an incredible, outstanding nanny by the name of Miss May, who is still in our family to this day. I remember being pregnant with Etienne, and I was talking with Pauletta Washington. She said to me, Sheryl, when you have your son, you watch your son. You hold your son close. You encourage your son, because the world, they come for our boys. And you have got to be able to raise him to take on this world. And I've never forgotten that conversation from her, because she was right in so many different phases of my son's life. It was like, hold on to your child, guide your child, love your child, protect your child, empower your child to be the best man they can grow to be so that they can stay alive. My daughter, she is helping me rise out of the ashes like a phoenix of fashion and style. I love it. And I always say to myself, I don't know how she does it. You know, it's like, even today, I'd have never put these two colors together, but it just works. It's just like, whoa, okay. You know, how she looks and puts it all together. The hair, the makeup, the style. I'm very, very fortunate because I work with my child and I don't have any problems. Does she get on my nerves sometimes? Absolutely. Especially when she thinks I can't dress myself. I'm like, who do you think dressed me before you were born? Thank you, I dressed myself. But she's so good at it. She's just elevated the style, and I appreciate it. I say it all the time. I wasted not $1 on her education. You have to be different things at different times in your children's lives. But I learned a lot of things. Like, one of the greatest lessons I learned with my children is When they make me really angry, be quiet and hug them. Be quiet and hug them. Remind yourself how much you love them before you do and say something you will regret. And I don't want to have any regrets. That was a very strong lesson for me. And then now, as they're older and going on to their own lives, is letting them go, letting them do their thing. I want them to want my help. They don't want my help. They're like, no, Mom, we got this. And I'm like, wow, they're doing this without me. So different mothers and different times of their lives. I'm very fortunate. The man that I am married to, Senator Vincent Hughes, 7th Senatorial District of Philadelphia, he has his own life. I have my own life. He has his own real career. I have my own real career. He has his light to stand in. I have my light to stand in. So he is not looking at me thinking about status or this or that. He's doing his thing. I get to do my thing. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. I'm telling you, life is good. Perfect. I get to be the real good wife. We met while I was doing Thoroughly Modern Millie on Broadway, and you fall in love with somebody and you realize he's not leaving his career. He is not leaving Philadelphia. I'm not leaving Hollywood. And when you have children, you can't just pick up your children and move across country. No, that doesn't really work. So it just worked out that I was in California, he was in Philadelphia, and every 2 weeks we saw each other, and it worked out well, and it has continued to work out well. We will celebrate 20 years of marriage, thank you, and some people can't even get through 2. So it's all good. Health can be a challenge. So you can look at me, right? I look slim and trim. I went to the doctor and the doctor said, you are obese. And I said, what? He said, on the inside. And trying to figure out why are you dealing with these things? Now, the things that they tell you to do are the things that must be done. Change the way you eat, work out, take a walk, drink your water. When the doctors tell you that stuff, you got to do it. Your health is your greatest wealth, and too many of us do not pay attention to it until it's gone. So mine was just like, girl, you better lose that weight, honey. You got to take it off. Especially since on Abbott Elementary, the cameras are all around. Lord have mercy. One time I got a shot of my behind. I was like, oh, hell no, 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 no. Oh, But yeah, got to take care of your health. I say to anybody, do what you got to do. If you want that filler, baby, get that filler. You want that shot, baby, get that shot. You need that facelift, honey, go on, get that facelift. You feel good about yourself, good. It works for you, you do that. But don't overdo these things. I think about, suppose I'd listened to all the things that people said to me when I was young. I'd have changed my whole face because they told me I was ugly. And all I needed was time. All I needed to do was grow up. All I needed to do was grow in to who I am becoming still. If I'd changed one thing, it might have all been very different for me. You've got all of these little girls out here trying to emulate false images of what they think stars are or do, when we're really just regular people. You know, my face is my face. That's my choice. Anybody else want to do anything to their face and it works for you, do you. But I just have to be more patient and give myself more grace. Who knows, that might change when I turn 80. Don't give up. You don't make it at 20, so what? You don't make it at 30. Hold on to your dreams, because you can make it at 40. You can make it at 50, and it ain't over when you turn 60. It is an industry, a world that loves youth, but nothing can compare to wisdom. And you've got to be able to live life, appreciate life in order to become wise. Have patience with yourself. Have patience in life. Have faith in God or whatever you believe in or don't believe in. Because when they say the best is yet to come, this is just a phase, because the best is yet to come. And I am here to receive it.